Another part of our interviewing executive series, today again in Warsaw, and I will speak with Edgar Kolesnik, partner at Abris Capital Partners. Edgar is also responsible for talent management. Hello Edgar, thanks for accepting our invitation.
Hello Shimon, nice to have you.
And asking the first question, I would like to touch upon the question of pushing or being pushed to the limit during recruitment process, which is, I think, an interesting topic, and many different people have many different experiences and not necessary views. I would like to know what is yours, and have you experienced this, and what is your experience also as a hiring manager? Are you pushing candidates to the limits?
I'm a strong believer of two-way assessment during interviews. It's my personal experience when I was interviewing for a job myself many years ago, and when I'm responsible as a recruiter for finding candidates. I believe through creating genuine and natural environment for a candidate to share about their life story, share experiences, you get much more insight about who the candidate is. It's always about two-way assessment for candidate and for employer in a natural setup. I want to have a candidate who understands the cultural environment they apply for. And during each interview, I try to project and behave naturally as if I would speak with my colleague on the daily basis. By asking some follow-up questions to more difficult ones, you can get into the more difficult conversations that the candidate needs to think harder, but it's always done in a natural way, so that somebody needs to scratch their head and think whether how to calculate some case and to what to do with some of the numbers presented. You can check the communication skill set and you can check as well some motivation for a job through this much more genuine and polite way.
Yes, I understand. Okay. Now, if we are still staying in the recruitment process and steps taken, I would like also to touch upon a subject which is currently very much discussed, and it's diversity. So we all know that diverse teams are generally much better performing and much better set up. But you have to achieve this diversity somehow, and of course recruitment is one of the ways. What does your experience say, and what are your maybe best practices that you use in order to be sure that at the end, when you have a team set up, it's a diverse team?
It's good to have diversity within your team in mid to long term, because short term it creates some challenges for managers, it creates some challenges for individual team members, and all of us must admit and understand this. But I believe that mid-term and long-term benefits of diversity are so fundamental that it's worth to invest in diverse teams. And for myself, during interviews, I try to have always in my mind some of the benefits which are positive by creating diverse teams. It's about bringing some different perspectives, ideas, and increase some innovation within the team and to cover broader perspectives. It's about as well creating nice environment for a company to have diverse backgrounds within the people you work with, because it's much more interesting to meet as well on a daily basis, not just the copycats of you.
Yes.
And we can achieve this by some brave decisions throughout different recruitment processes. At each round, if we widen up the funnel of candidates and we don't just brief very narrowly whom we look specifically and we just want to have some kind of candidate, but we more try to define the role as a broad function where we can give ourselves some chance to bring a candidate which is not so obvious, but this candidate can bring much more passion, can bring much more engagement, and can add some diversity element to the team setup, to the managerial setup. It can create much more benefits for the organization. And from private equity perspective, it's being done on both levels. One level, it's on the fund level, where we try to have as well diverse team among investment professionals, and this is what we do when we recruit for a job. Secondly, when we recruit for portfolio companies, management positions, and we support from the supervisory board level, or we speak with management and encourage them to hire more diverse teams, it's as well the role to play to create more interesting team setup, which can bring genuine financial results to the organization.
Good. Now, thinking about, in the third question is more about thinking about people preparing now for an interview. And what would be your advice? I mean, if you would think that there is somebody listening to us who is just about to make a career move, next step, whatever, senior level rather, what would you tell him or her about how to prepare for an interview? Is there any recipe that you have?
The recipe is simple. It's always used to be very simple, and it's probably will be for many years to come. Learn about the company as much as possible. Read news section, search. The data is available about what the company was doing over the last couple of months, but as well what is the history. Secondly, understand the role you apply for. Try to speak with friends, colleagues who are part of that sector. Maybe they are even employees of the company you apply for, and just try to get insights from them about your potential daily work and expectations from this new role. And thirdly, it's practice business cases which are applicable for that specific role, because probably throughout this interview you'll be asked the questions related to that job. But all these three items aside, which are pretty standard recipe, I would advise to be yourself.
Okay.
By being yourself, you encourage your recruiter to consider whether this is the right candidate fit to this organization. By being yourself, you help yourself to find the place where you will benefit from this cooperation in the long run.
Okay. Yeah, being yourself is not always that easy for many people. If you would now say, let's say, all this has been done, the interview has been done, the candidate is well prepared, you have go through many different rounds, and at the end you land with two equally good candidates. You really like almost don't know what to choose. What do you then? I mean, what is the last thing that decides, okay, finally this will be better than that one? Maybe it's a really small nuance, but what is it in your case?
When I interview the candidates, I look for three areas. One is analytics, how good somebody is in with numbers, communication, listening, and communication skills. And thirdly, it's about passion. If we have analytics and communication at the level which is acceptable, desired, and it's pretty much equal, my focus would be always to focus on this passion coefficient. It's about motivation, it's about engagement. It's whether the candidate is willing to invest in learning new things. Sometimes it's necessary to unlearn the old habits. And it's about growth mindset of that personality, whether somebody is willing to invest and dedicate much more time when sometimes is obvious.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. It was very interesting to listen to your remarks.
Thank you, Shimon, for joining today's conversation.